Hey, so I was just watching YouTube and I happened to be recommended a video by a YouTuber called Dollightful. And if you, for some reason, are watching this video but you don't know who that is, she is someone who redecorates, repaints dolls and does really an amazing job with it, makes some really awesome stuff. I don't usually watch that type of content, but because her stuff is so impressive and interesting, I tend to find myself coming back from time to time. So I just happened to notice that she posted an apology video that was referencing a video that I believe people were saying was posted 3 years ago or so, roughly. And I wouldn't be surprised if it was the first video that brought me to her channel. It might have been the first one that I'd seen. It was one where she created a doll that was inspired by a Wendigo, which is a Native American folk tale or legend. And many people were a fan of it. I was definitely a fan of it. And I tend to like a lot of Wendigo inspired content. I think it's such a cool thing. I think it's just really interesting myself. But in this video, it's very brief. She basically just describes the fact that people were not happy with that, they were offended by it, and that she has decided to take the video down. And she also states that she doesn't want people defending her creation of this doll. And that's actually why she decided to disable the comments on this video so that people wouldn't really be having a discussion about it. I definitely would recommend that you go and watch that video and kind of actually take in the real information, because I'm just summarizing here, and I literally just watched the video, looked through some different opinions of different people, and I'm making this video now. So I really am not going to give you the best description of the situation, so I definitely recommend that you go and check it out for yourself. But I just had a couple things that I thought I would put out there that I don't really think I saw talked about a whole lot. So I am not going to be arguing for or against her making the doll, or her keeping the video up, or re-uploading it, or any of that. I'm not going to be talking about whether or not she did the right thing. Because, well, to kind of give you my perspective on this and where I'm coming from, there is, on my mom's side of the family, there are claims that we do have, that we come from Native Americans, and so there's a good chunk of that in our DNA or genetics, however you want to say it. But truthfully, I don't think that matters in this situation or otherwise very much, because I was not raised in that culture. I don't have a particular culture that I identify with really at all, other than maybe just being part of the LGBTQ plus community that I very much identify with. But other than that, I don't really feel like I fit into any sort of cultural group or anything like that. And so it is definitely not my place to talk about that. But where I do feel like I kind of fit into this situation is the fact that I am an artist. I am currently going to art school to be an illustrator, and I just have been creating things generally for quite a while now. So I kind of just want to talk about that side of things. I really don't like the argument that, people are so, they're so easily offended nowadays or anything like that, because I think the fact that we are really looking deeply into social issues and whether we should be behaving the way that we do is a really good thing. I think the fact that we are just being conscious about those things is really important and really a step in the right direction. So I don't think that looking into these issues more analytically I think we should be doing that, and we should encourage that sort of thing. And so as an artist and as someone who truthfully, has used a Wendigo, the story of a Wendigo as inspiration multiple times in multiple of my projects, I kind of take issue a little bit with the handling of this situation. Not really, I think, for the same reason as a lot of people with, oh, she should have left it up, this is censorship, those sorts of arguments, because I really think it is her place to decide that. I don't think it's not possible that people forced her to take it down or anything like that. That's not how this works. She made the decision to do it, and she seems very comfortable with that decision. She seems like she's willing to stand by that, at least to some degree, because she ended up doing it. And being that was a pretty popular video on her channel, it seems, that was a pretty decent sacrifice to make. So, she must have had her reasons for doing it. Where I really think that she, I guess, could have done a bit better, and I'm not trying to accuse her or anything like that, is the fact that when I watched that video, I was kind of just left, for one, confused, but also just really not sure of how I could learn from this situation, because I feel like situations like this are really good to learn from. I was definitely willing to hear a discussion about why using the Wendigo in your creative projects is a bad idea, or anything of that nature. Why we should not be using that cultural influence in our artistic works. I was definitely willing to hear that type of argument. The problem is that the way that this was handled basically left for no way for that to happen. The fact that the comments were disabled, that once again was her choice to make. It's her video. She can do with what she wants with it. If she doesn't want her channel to be used as a grounds for debate, that's totally understandable, and I can totally understand why she would do that. But I do wish at least there was a bit more explanation as to why this was an issue in her opinion. I think, even if she didn't feel comfortable talking about it herself, if she was able to find a resource of some sort that kind of explained why something like the idea of a Wendigo shouldn't be used by people who aren't part of that culture, if that could be shared, that would be so much more helpful than just taking down the video. So just before I posted this video, I went back to her original apology video to make sure that I had everything right that was important for this video, and I was actually reminded that she did have some of her sources in the description to that video. And as much as I would have loved to look through them and, figure out if those are kind of what I was hoping for in terms of education for myself and for any others who are feeling similarly to me on this topic, they are unfortunately either not very easily accessible since they are scholarly articles, or books that I unfortunately cannot afford right now. So while I do really appreciate that this was included here, I don't really think that this satisfies what I was hoping for in terms of information on this, because it just really isn't going to be very accessible to her audience, I don't think. And even then, I think it is supposed to be proving more that she knows what she's talking about, rather than actually trying to educate us on the situation. Anyway, I just wanted to make sure that that was cleared up before I posted this and confused anyone with that. Because if she truly believes that that is, something that was important enough for her to take down this video and all that, and for her to make this statement, I think it would have been helpful to educate people like me who are also artists on why I should do the same. And I do kind of wonder if that is why some people have gotten the impression that she was pressured into doing it, or as I saw more directly, people said, oh, they made her do it. I mean, there's really not much else I have to say about it. I just do think that that was kind of disappointing. If anybody happens to stumble on this video, I would absolutely love to hear your opinion on it, and that's basically the reason that I wanted to make this video, is for the sake of kind of spreading opinions around about this, because I really, like I said, I want to use this to learn, and I want to use this to decide how I want to proceed as an artist going further. So I'm kind of asking for help, or, you know, in the case of anybody who stumbles upon this who maybe didn't think about it that way, I don't know, maybe you can also learn from this. That's just about it. If you liked this take or whatever, you want to see stuff from me, I definitely would appreciate if you watched my other videos, because this is definitely out of the ordinary for me. So yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for listening to this, and I'll see you when I see you, I guess.